Well, hello. Quick announcement before I start this video. I'm going to be doing kind of a post commentary of a battle. From Sky is battling that I put it up, so I'm going to put it up. It was a pretty good battle, I think. It was not bad. There's a few mistakes on either side, I suppose. I'll probably point them out as we go through. But anyway, quick announcement. I noticed several of my last uploaded battles were all really low on the ladder, and I didn't really notice that is like a trend up until now. And the issue was my account wasn't saving my ranking, so I'd play a bunch of games, rank up, um, close the computer, come back to it, and I just expected to be at the same ranking that I did. So I'd just start recording the videos that I'd start recording the battles that I'd start from there, and I didn't even notice it, but it would just kind of reset me back to the bottom of the ladder. So there's just an issue with the accounts that I was using, so getting that fixed out. So for the next little while, all the battles that come out should be higher than the bottom of the ladder. I like to when I do videos, I like to sit around between 13 and 1400 in that range. Any higher and your opponents start to become assholes. Any lower and, well, obviously this is just a generalization, but usually when you're lower on the ladder than 13, you don't find too much competition. Obviously that's not 100% true because there's a lot of good players below 1200. Who just don't care enough to level up too much or like making new accounts to try new teams. A lot of variables, but I just find in general below 1200 is not very challenging, and above 14 is just a lot of tryhards who think they're better than everyone else. So I'm gonna get back into that range, and then pretty much the videos that I upload are I'm going to try to get in between that range, but of course any battles I think are good otherwise or entertaining or funny, I'll still put up even if they're outside of that range. That being said, might as well jump into this battle. I'm on the other side, by the way, in this situation. So I lead with Landorus and he leads with Chestnut, and I didn't realize at the time, but I kind of realized shortly in. I don't actually have too much for Chestnut other than Charizard, and Charizard's not really that too reliable because you can't just switch in for freely. So I bring out Charizard now. Go for the Dragon Dance on him, obviously not staying in. He brings in Talonflame. He didn't really have very much to bring in, honestly, so that was probably his best thing to bring in, and I actually had to do a calc to make sure I could survive a banded Adamant Brave Bird, and that's exactly what that was by that damage, and I could survive it, so glad I checked that calc. On him bringing Excadrill in, I really wanted to say he was Scarf, because there's no way he would have outsped otherwise. I'm Adamant, not Jolly. As far as Jolly, I'd outspeed no matter what, but as you can see right there, he's not Scarf, so I could have stayed in and potentially swept, because he didn't really have any priority to touch me. I brought in Scizor just to, check for the Scarf. Bring back Landorus in, intimidate him. He's not going to stay in with that. I don't know. I thought maybe he would because he'd stayed in before after the intimidate, so I just went straight for the Earthquake. Nothing appreciated it, and he shows his Chestnut has Synthesis. So this is the point where I'm like, oh shit. Chestnut's going to be really hard to break. I switch predicting the Spiky Shield into Rotom, which actually worked out perfectly. He forgets to Mega Evolve, which is pretty huge, but I mean, it wouldn't have killed, because I am a Rotom, but it was pretty huge in the battle, because it means I got a free turn to set up Stealth Rocks. He just hit me with Chansey. Pretty huge turning point in the battle for me. I go for Wish, he goes for Roost. I expect he's probably going to want to stay in to kind of judge for damage. And seeing as he missed, I'm assuming he's still going to want to stay in to judge for damage with Focus Blast. Because a lot of people with Charizard actually don't know that Focus Blast doesn't really hurt Chansey. He hits me, he gets a crit, does under half. I saw that he saw the crit does under half, so I'm assuming he's going to switch, knowing he can't do anything. But he just keeps Focus Blasting. Whether he was predicting the Charizard, I don't know, but either way, it's not doing anything. I can tell you right now that none of these Focus Blast misses mattered at all. But as long as we see he's not doing anything, I can just stall him out with Chansey because he is toxic. Roost isn't going to affect me. He opts to switch out, probably wants to get a spin-off with Excadrill eventually to bring back Charizard. Just get a Wish off. I assume he's going to go for a Swords Dance, so I might as well get use out of my Wish by passing into Scizor. If this was Mega Scizor, it wouldn't really care, but the knockoff is definitely going to hurt because I do have an item. Go for Will-O-Wisp, that's pretty much my best play anyway. He gets a crit with the knockoff, which actually really sucked because I could have taken that very nicely otherwise. I keep expecting the Sucker Punch, so I don't go for attacking moves. That's why I went for Pain Split that turn, why I go for Will-O-Wisp this turn, because he can clearly see that I can kill him in this range, and I outspeed. You can clearly see that. So I just keep assuming that he's going to Sucker Punch. He doesn't, and he kills me with Knockoff, which is okay. The battle is looking... and he opts to switch out. So he's putting a lot of reliance on getting a spin-off with Excadrill, which is fine. It really looks like I'm in a bad situation, especially here, because he reveals his Blissey has Flamethrower, which is not uncommon, but I never play around that. But it really looks like I'm in a bad situation here. I'm not really. It still looks like I'm in a bad situation because I just lost my Choice Scarf that I wanted to trick to chance to his Blissey. It really looks like I'm in a bad situation because it's I think it's 4-on-3 right now is the score, or maybe it's 3-all. But while it looks like I'm in a really bad position, honestly, I pretty much, as long as Chestnut's out of the way, I figured I pretty much win. But I knew Chestnut was going to be a huge issue. On the whatever move he wanted to go for, I was going to go into Chansey, and then I was going to double right back into Landorus on him going for the fighting move, which he doesn't. He opts to switch, which works out perfectly for me because I get the Intimidate. He either switches or loses, and he brings Chestnut in, and this was, I think, the play that just made me win the game, because Chestnut was the one thing that was standing in my way of sweeping, and it's doing like 25%. I think he should have brought Charizard in because it dies to rocks there. Maybe he forgot about it, but he should have brought Charizard in, let it die, and then bring Chestnut in and Synthesis. I think that would have been the best play because he didn't really have anything. Like the only chance he had of winning was with his Chestnut. But either way, it was a pretty fun battle. When I was doing it, I thought I was gonna do really bad, but I actually wasn't too bad of a game. Yeah, I really thought I was gonna go down when I was down to 3, but then I looked at what was left and I looked at what I needed to get rid of, and it all worked out in the end.